Jeff, let's talk, since you're getting at the Chiefs fandom. The Chiefs are going to go to Buffalo. And for some reason, at least on my timeline, last night's Eagles game was actually just a giant victory lap for Chiefs fans. All of you are having schadenfreude and dunking all over Nick Sirianni. You guys beat him in the Super Bowl. Why are you beating him up now? So what if he celebrated at one point? Why are you so upset with Nick Sirianni and leading the charge to get this guy fired? What's wrong with you people?
Well, that immature reaction he had when they beat the Chiefs this year was very funny. It made no sense whatsoever. It was so immature. It was so childish for a head coach to do. If you don't recall, he went in the tunnel and yelled like, "Hey, Chiefs fans, screw you guys!" It's like, dude, you're a head coach. Like, what are you? You're not a frat boy. They have some like manners as a coach. Have some decorum. Like you're above this as a head coach. I go by the idea, Gabe, of sort of, like the examples you see. Like, is Bill Belichick, Andy Reid, Nick Saban, are they cussing out opposing fans as they walk off the field after they win a game where the Chiefs drop 3 touchdown passes? No.
Those guys are all sitting on a dock somewhere. They're retired.
Now they
It's
are.
a new generation.
Now they are.
Man.
The new generation of coaches, the ones that scream and yell at the fans. Here's the thing about the Eagles. And the problem with Sirianni is they got worse all over the field this year, right? It wasn't that they lost. You could stand losing, Gabe. Losses happen, right? But they got worse throughout the season on all sides of the ball. Defense, offense, position players, quarterback didn't look the same this year. He lost his coordinators. He hired 2 more. Don't appear very good. If you're Sirianni and you do nothing, you don't call the plays on offense or defense, you're the CEO head coach, you can't have your team, your whole team, collapse like it did and keep your job. If you coach one side of the ball, let's say you're an offensive guy and your defense stinks, but your offense is good. Okay, cool. Let's fix the defense. Vice versa. You're a defensive guy, defense is good, offense stinks. Okay, you can stay. We'll fix the offense. I mean, Brandon Staley is a good example of this too. Brandon Staley is a defensive coach whose defense sucked, right? Like you don't keep your job if that happens. You don't keep your job if you're a CEO head coach and your team loses 6 of the last 7 games. And a lot of those games, quite frankly, Gabe, we're not very close. And your team regresses far back. And you can blame some of the roster decisions to keep older guys on defense. The offensive line is a little bit older. But the fact is, they got worse this season. So you're going to allow Sirianni to hire 2 more coordinators, a new DC and a new OC, and just be the CEO again of a team that really backslid? The answer is no, right? Like, if you're going to be a CEO head coach, John Harbaugh, your team needs to be the most disciplined team in all of football, which is what John Harbaugh's teams are. So to me, you can't go back to this well again. If you do, you're going to expect the same results next season. And that's why I think Sirianni is probably gone. I'm not sure the better answer is. Maybe it is a Belichick. I doubt it. But like someone to come in there and sort of bring discipline back and sort of get them where they need to be as an organization. Because again, you can't be 10-1. They were 10-1 game after 11 games and finished with 11 wins this season.
Yeah. No, it was a colossal meltdown. Colossal meltdown. There's no arguing. I mean, sure, people have pointed out injuries, but
injuries happen in football, right? They happen all over the place. Every team has them. But their teams, Buffalo right now has no defense. Their entire defense is decimated. Is that an excuse? They make that excuse now. They're playing Pittsburgh, not playing Tampa Bay. Injuries happen all over the field. The best teams overcome it. The best teams don't, even with injuries, don't look like the Eagles have played. The Browns are down 2 tackles, 4-string quarterback. Yeah, they didn't have a perfect game against the Texans, but the previous 5 weeks showed life, played hard, finished plays. I mean, the defense against Tampa Bay, the missed tackles, buddy, I mean, that's embarrassing. It's like a lack of effort, right? I hate calling it effort, but they're not even trying to make the plays. They're falling down all over the place. It's not good. And that falls on a head coach, a CEO head coach. Again, if you're a play caller and your offense is good and your defense is bad, I'll give you more time, right? Just bring in a new DC. But he's the CEO guy. These are his coordinators he hired. And very clearly, Shane Steichen was sort of the mastermind behind that offense. He leaves Indianapolis. That team almost made the playoffs. And this team made the playoffs, but kind of slid further. Also, like, and maybe it's unfair to Jalen Hurts in this discussion, but, is he a guy who is going to elevate the team when it's not perfect? Which it's hard to do. I mean, The best example is Mahomes with his offense right now, right? Not perfect, but still, in the division around in Buffalo. Um, I'm not saying Hurts is bad. I don't think that at all. But is it is he like a top 5 guy? Is he going to elevate above sort of above when you need him to do it most when things are not right? When everything's great, and when AJ Brown is there and Devontae Smith, the offensive line, he's incredible. I think he's dealing with injuries this season. But is he the guy to really like push you over the edge when AJ Brown is out and your right guard is out and your team sort of is floundering? I don't know. Now, again, to be fair, the play calling this year was bad. They didn't have a plan. They didn't know what to do often against pressure. So it's not always his fault. But I think that's a discussion that people are going to have this offseason about Jalen Hurts.
All right. Well, then let's go a couple more quickies on the Eagles. You sort of hinted at, well, maybe Belichick. I think people have said Harbaugh. I'm going to go ahead and just for fun say, what about Saban? Bad news for Jalen Hurts, because then I think Tua's coming in to replace him. But maybe the CEO coach is one of the greatest CEO coaches of our lifetimes, and there are 3 of them potentially available this offseason.
Yeah.
Larry likes to spend. Larry doesn't mind getting new coaches. Could it be one of those guys?
Um, Very cool. I want to address the Lurie thing because firing Sirianni is not unlike anything the Eagles have done in the past. Chip Kelly, one bad season. Andy Reid,
Yeah.
one bad season. Doug Peterson, one bad season. Like they're out of there. Nick Saban to me is I think a hard pass on that one. Gabe, you're in the industry of media. He's going to get a lot of money to be in College Game Day. I think that his coaching career has probably come to an end. I do not see him going back to the NFL. Like, what's the purpose of that? Just live at home and travel somewhere on a Friday and hang out with your friends and coaching fraternity and do game day. Like that feels like what Saban's going to do moving forward. No,
Well, I mean, I don't really want to go down the whole road of who the talent on College Game Day will be, but if you replaced Coach Corso with Nick Saban, and then you lost the guy who kind of stole the show several weeks this year, who has made headlines for the last 2 weeks, that goes from like the most joyous party environment
yeah.
that we know in sports media to the most boring thing I've ever seen in my life.
Um, Yeah, I mean, look, I as a Fox Sports employee, if you want to watch Big New Kickoff instead, that's great for me. Fantastic. It's a good idea. Look, I just say
College
this.
Game Day has been my favorite show for many, many years. I'm saying
I
if you replace the most fun guy
yeah,
on the show with Nick
but
Saban,
I mean, who you replacing Corso with? No, I mean, nobody. There's no one to replace Corso with. This is not going to happen. That's why they keep dragging him back out there. I mean, dude is he can barely make a 3-hour show, Gabe, and he's going to go back. They say he's coming back next season.
Great.
Corso's fantastic. I tune in just to watch him put on the headgear. It's the best thing ever. The kids,
It's the best
your
part of the
kids
week.
love it. My kids
yeah.
love it. They love it all. But I think Saban will be on game day, and then you're the boy who got canceled by everyone, but still is on Disney-owned properties every day. He's going to be there too, probably, right? So
Probably. So then who's the Philly coach?
we got to stop saying people are canceled. By the way, like it's lost all meaning whatsoever. What are we doing? Philly coach? Who knows? The NFL coaching cycle takes it takes a long time because there is no rush, right? There's no rush to hire anyone because you don't have to. It's not college. There's no transfer portal. There's no recruiting. You can't even interview coaches in the divisional round until after this week, I think. So there's no. I mean, Harbaugh interviewed for the Chargers job, and he might not know for a month where he's going to go. So I don't know who the best answer is. There are not. Well, there's 7 jobs open now. I want to say Eagles might be 8, Cowboys might be 9. There's probably not 9 good choices to be coaches. So
No.
I'd imagine that they'll find 9 coaches, but I don't know who the right one is in Philly.